director of this institution. Our job is to teach facts about civil defense and the programs designed for your protection and the safety of this nation in event of nuclear attack. In our work, we need the facilities and people of other institutions, federal agencies, state and local governments, industry, the military, the professions, and the educational community throughout the country. Louisiana State University, in cooperation with the Office of Civil Defense, has prepared a series of programs designed to show you what it might be like if this country ever came under a nuclear attack. Some think that a nuclear attack is not really possible. Others think that a nuclear attack would be so bad that nothing could be done to defend our people against it. Neither of these points of view is totally correct. While the nation's efforts are constantly directed toward preventing such a conflict, judgment tells us that the possibility exists, and that possibility, however small, places on each of us the need for knowledge about the forces that exist in our world and what we can do about them. The story you will see in this series is fictional, with a hypothetical time and place. No one knows, of course, exactly what such an attack would be like. This is one author's version, based upon his concept of nuclear weapons effects. It will show you what could or might happen. The seriousness of the threat is real. The defensive efforts going on today by responsible officials and citizens are equally real. This dramatic series, and this first one, Coffee Break, shows you many of the things that ought to be done in learning and preparing for your safety and that of the nation. It may leave many questions unanswered, but it will provoke you to think, and more hopefully, to take some action to learn more. We invite you to share with us this series called Mark for Survival. The time, now, today. The place, Central City. Let's say that you live in Central City. Let's say that you like living in Central City. You like your home, or your apartment, you like your job. But have you the ability, the good sense, and the courage to face the facts of life in the nuclear age? To face the almost unfaceable, that it could happen to Central City. It could happen, you know. And it just might. It's time for the morning coffee break, when just about everyone stops for a moment of relaxation.
is coming up. Two of the best coffees in town. You all know where to take your coffee break. Right at Sam's.
Sam, what am I going to get my coffee?
What's your hurry, Mr. Porter?
I want to get out of town before they start these civil defense drills.
You're joking, Mr. Porter. You know, I think those tests are important.
One coffee coming up.
Can I get you something else?
This is one of the days that Central City had scheduled an exercise for its civil defense organization.
There they go now. Too late, Mr. Porter. You're stuck.
Boy, what a racket. Guess they gotta test them, though.
What for? If they drop the bomb, shoot by Charlie. If they don't, what's the difference? I don't know what they have to have these civil defense drills for.
Did you ever stop to think that one day it might end up the real thing?
End up. That's exactly the right word.
I'll tell you this, Henry, if it does happen, I still want to live.
Of course, Sam. You're not living now.
Some of you fellow citizens, like Henry and Sam, have definite opinions about civil defense, but little knowledge of the facts. Not everybody in Central City shares Sam's or Henry's opinions. An ever-increasing number of them, like your friend Bill Schuster, know the facts and are doing something about them. For example, Bill Schuster figured this out a long time ago. If this country were ever attacked, Central City would need all the help it could get, and most of that help would have to come from its own citizens. So 3 years ago, he volunteered to take special civil defense courses. And now Bill is shelter manager of Shelter 836. Quietly, without any fanfare, people all over Central City start for pre-assigned missions in this citywide test. Police, fire, transportation specialists report to their stations. Even the mayor and Central City's key officials, as well as the civil defense director, man their posts. While you, the vast majority of Central City citizens, enjoy your morning coffee break, mildly annoyed by the sirens, but intent upon the time-honored American custom of one or two or more refreshing and stimulating cups of coffee. People like Jerry Hennessy, chief draftsman for the Power and Light Company, and volunteer assistant CD operations officer. Or Jack Rollins, Mr. Fix-It, volunteer assistant CD communications officer. Or Lou Phillips, successful electrical contractor and trained radiological defense officer, report to the local EOC, Central City's Emergency Operating Center. just starting their coffee break. State Policeman Hank Barnes is already writing his report in his log, noting the time and type of warning he had received from state headquarters in this test of Central City's survival plan. So too are men at power stations, the waterworks, the Central City Gas Company, commercial radio stations, and amateur radio operators. As the coffee break ends, the debris is cleared away. As people settle up and start back to work, some hurrying lest they be late, others pausing momentarily to window shop or catch a quick bit of news. They are completely unaware that during the 10 or 15 minutes consumed in their coffee break, their survival plan has been tested. But just how effective is that plan? There is still a lot to be done. Central City's population is approximately 190,000. The downtown area has shelter spaces to accommodate most of the people who work there. But what about people like Bob Ryder and Mrs. Appleton, and thousands of others who work or live in the suburbs? There aren't many available shelters out there. And since Central City is surrounded by farms and a fairly good-sized industrial area, how does your survival plan take care of these people? How many shelters do you have for them? And then to what happens if you're attacked on a Sunday or a holiday or at 4 in the morning? The peak population will not be downtown where the shelters are. Then how will your survival plan work out? This is Central City. It is your town, and you have a right to be proud of it because your plan will save a lot of lives. But most of you are unaware of the problems confronting those citizens who are facing the facts, who are part of a plan for survival, who are trying to find a way to make their plan work, to make it work against great odds.
You know what the problem is? We're jerry-rigging, putting up a crutch here, digging a hole there, all improvising. What this city needs is a practical, coordinated, overall civil defense and emergency master plan. With a progressive, step-by-step plan for providing these shelters whenever and wherever we can find them. Not just pot-shotting, whenever an opportunity comes up, or whenever Connors comes in with his pitch. And let me tell you something. That's exactly what we're going to get. A master survivor plan that will work.
Their ultimate goal is to save every human life they possibly can, should a nuclear attack ever happen. Yes, they've made a plan, but it is only a beginning. But just how does a nation prepare for something that has never happened? In all the wars we've fought, we've never before been exposed to a nuclear attack. Now, faced with the threat of weapons so awesome, so powerful, so deadly, and so readily deliverable, how does a nation prepare with adequate defense? Not only Central City, but every human being and every city in the nation is faced with the problem of survival in this nuclear age. So what can you do? Well, some say, let's build our cities underground, deep enough to make them safe from any attack. Fine. But even the richest nation in the world doesn't have the economic wealth or the time to accomplish this Herculean task. The costs of constructing bomb-proof shelters for every man, woman, and child in this nation would be staggering. But what should we do now? What kind of protection do we have right now, this day, this very minute? And what is civil defense all about anyway? Well, let's start with a brief look at this map. Now, this is our problem. Let's say that an enemy has a nuclear
launch an attack on the United States. Let's say that he decides on a pattern of attack. That he selects these cities as targets. Or let's say that he selects this target pattern. Or this pattern. Or this. Or this. Or any one of thousands of target patterns aimed at any combination of the hundreds of thousands of cities, towns, villages, missile sites, airfields, strategic air bases, industrial areas, transportation centers. In short, let's say any combination of strategic targets within the borders of our nation. Now, these attack patterns are not some wild, prophetic little games dreamed up by science fiction writers. They are the calculated cause and effect patterns drawn up by the top experts in all branches of government, civil and military, executive and legislative. More than that, they form the basis for all our plans for survival. The men in these agencies are the men who are constantly facing the real facts of the tremendous threat and the problems of nuclear warfare. They are the men who have to provide the leadership to make all our survival plans work. For the mission of civil defense is to see to it that the people of the United States survive. And localization, but a function of all government. National, state, and local. The role of the Office of Civil Defense is to lead, direct, and unify the efforts of all our government and our people to the fullest. To use our combined skills, resources, and plans for survival. But how much do we as individuals actually know about the national and community survival plans? Are we able, as a nation, to survive a massive nuclear attack? Well, here are a few facts you should remember. Now let's take a close look at this target map. Each light represents a target of the biggest attack an enemy could possibly mount at this time. Fact number one to remember is that the enemy's total mass attack would actually strike less than 5% of our nation's total land area. Over 95% of the nation would be untouched by his missiles, even if he utilized all his nuclear weapons in a single strike. Now, you all remember these signs. They have been posted in cities all over our country. You all know they mark the millions of fallout shelters which form one of the basic elements in our survival plans. But how much do we actually know about the national and community survival plans these signs symbolize? Just how good are these plans? Will they work? Will our nation survive? Would you and Central City survive? Let's say that at precisely 10:07 a.m. Central City time, a sergeant in an Arctic outpost of the early warning system sees his radar screen suddenly filled with fast-moving blips. Missiles have been launched. Moments later, 2 line stations verify that an enemy attack has been launched. The launch areas are identified. Their targets estimated. Instantly, electronic computers analyze the signals, compute data, and transmit this information. Within minutes, both the North American Air Defense Command, NORAD, and NAWAS, the National Warning System, are alerted. Within 5 minutes, the final decisions are made. The order for counterattack given, and the warning to cover issued. The warning is sounding in the nation's every community. to show you how a nuclear attack would affect you, your family, your community, and your nation. This series will provide you with the facts that affect your section of our country. Bear in mind, too, that armed with facts, not just opinions, your chances for survival will be more certain. You will know what, if you survive, you must do.